Step into video game land. Welcome to Fine Time.
Hello, party people. It's your boy, Dre, and it's my boy, Steve. Loud noises, Kevin. I keep telling him not to yell at the people to start the show.
I don't like it when it's always that you introduce Steve as your boy and then it's just like, and Kevin's here.
Because okay, here's the thing. I'm sorry, first of all. Okay, I apologize. Secondly, he always says something like that, and then it distracts me, and then I have to, get feedback from you. Wasn't that fucked up, Kevin? You know what I mean? If you would just act normal, then I could call you my boy Kevin.
Well, seems like you're just kind of laying this at his feet, but I still feel like I'm getting left out by you.
I most certainly am laying it at his feet.
Just trying to fucking blame it all on my boy Steve.
Yeah.
Do you guys know how hard it is to be a performing monkey for you people every 2 weeks?
Yeah, right.
No, I'm just kidding. I revel in it.
I sent you your Nutter Butters, all right? You should, you got your, almost had reconnaissance. That's not the word I want.
Underhand tossed you a handful of Spanish peanuts.
I forgot about that segment.
One day I'm going to earn real money.
You can buy all the Spanish peanuts you want.
Not at Fine Time. You got to go to IGN podcast.
Oh, shit. Now, worse than that, he has to go to what's that soul sucking? He has to do the Nintendo Power podcast or something.
They don't even exist anymore.
Oh, they don't? They don't even do that?
What's that guy's name that was at Kotaku for a while who was a fucking real Nimrod? You and him can team up and podcast.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
I have some self-respect.
Yeah, you could team up with him. Okay, well, we are going to team up. Kevin, I was going to ask you if you wanted to be Peter Parker or Miles Morales, but this melanin dictates that maybe that's not a good question.
Oh, so I can't be Miles.
No, I don't think you could be. I don't want you to be Miles. I don't want you to get canceled.
I don't think opting for Miles is equivalent to blackface.
I mean, look, man, I don't see it that way. I'm just saying some other people might, okay? I don't.
Right, do you be Miles before we get canceled? I'll be
Okay.
fucking basic ass Peter.
Well, it shows you the cool one in this game is, huh? But yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about today. Me and Kevin played Spider-Man 2. Excuse me, should I have called it Marvel's Spider-Man 2 or whatever they have to call it on PlayStation?
I would imagine just Spider-Man 2 people knew what you were talking about, but...
I thought you were talking about the 2004 movie Spider-Man 2, where beloved character actor, I forgot his name right now, was Doc Ock, and he just kept staring into space. Oh no, now I have octopus arms, and I'm a bad person now.
Never seen it.
Me neither.
Yeah.
How?
I don't know. I know it was so fucking popular. I've never seen it.
I've seen it dozens of times, unfortunately, because it played on a loop on the DVD player at Sears in the kids section.
They showed a PG-13 movie in the kids section? That's kind of weird.
The early aughts were a different time. We gotta sell those bed sheets.
Can't they just put on, I don't know, what was hot then? Rio? Lilo and Stitch?
Maybe Lilo and Stitch, not Rio. Rio would be a few years later.
Oh, Rio was later. Okay. Over the Hedge, was that hot yet?
Not yet.
Over the Hedge is a good movie. I actually really like that movie. I was surprised.
I haven't seen that either.
Yeah, it's good. I was just watching what I was expecting, kind of crap or whatever, but no, it was because I think before that I had seen Ice Age, and I was like, this sucks. And then, I saw Over the Hedge. I was like, you know what? I'm kind of down with this. Steve is looking at me like I I'm an asshole for even suggesting that's good.
It's just been a while since I heard Over the Hedge.
Yeah, it should have been a series. Anyway, me and Kevin played Spider-Man 2, the 2023 PS5 game, not the 2004 movie, because it came out on PlayStation Plus Royale with Cheese, a couple months ago, and we decided to finally do this. I've been wanting to do this like since the game came out. We just haven't had the time, Kevin, or just really the inclination, or you didn't have it or whatever. Let's just say this flatly up front. Kevin liked the game. I did not like the game. That's our basis for this discussion.
But I'm not ready. This is not a game where I'm offended that you didn't like it, or I feel no desire to be, like, why didn't you like this? You didn't get it, and I got it.
Yeah, I understand. It's not that kind of game where it's like, oh, you need to defend this with your, you were offended that we didn't like Hollow Knight, right? You're not going to be offended that what I mean, that we didn't like this, that I didn't like this. Okay, so I guess I'll start at the beginning here. I've had this game since it came out. I went halvesies on a physical copy with Vin, right? So we kind of shared a disc. He played it first. He really liked it. He sent it back to me. I played the Sandman opening sequence. Like, this is very early 2024. And I was just not feeling it for some reason. I got through that whole thing and I was just like, you know what? Maybe this isn't really what I want to play right now. I'll play some other stuff, right? So I got back to it, I want to say that summer, like, I don't know, 6 months later. I tried it again. I still wasn't feeling it, even less than the first time. And I'm like, I don't get why I'm not into this, So I put it down since then. I just didn't even touch it until this opportunity presented itself where we could kind of both play this because it's on PlayStation Plus. And so I tried a third time for the show to get through that sequence and start this game and really get it going in earnest. And I finally came to the conclusion that this Sandman part actually just kind of sucks. And in general, I think Spider-Man 2 gets spectacle wrong. That's kind of how I feel at the outset, Kevin.
I was not, I think I enjoyed the spectacle of the Sandman part at the start, but it felt like kind of an awkward and clunky and overly drawn out intro. There's a lot of like, a burst of spectacle. And then, we're going to put you in this room with these sand enemies and you need to learn about this mechanic. And then we're going to give you some more spectacle, but then we're going to go and take another break and you need to learn about this other mechanic or what. I don't know. I'm not surprised you didn't like that part. I did not think that part was a highlight of the game, though, like, visually interesting, but.
Oh, yeah. Visually insane. I mean, like, Sandman slaps Peter Parker halfway across the city. And that shit doesn't skip a beat. I mean, we are running at 60 and that shit's just loading. All that shit's there. It's incredible. Like, technology wise, they're really showing it off. That's what Insomniac has been good at this generation. But as a video game, I wasn't really getting it. And here's the thing. When I was talking about this with Vin after, sometime this weekend, I was just telling him I wasn't fucking feeling it. I just wasn't getting into it. He was trying to talk about, so you played Miles Morales, right, Kevin?
And only Miles Morales. I did not play the first Spider-Man game. Okay. And I really liked Miles Morales.
Yeah, I think it was definitely better than the first Spider-Man myself. But that game, if you remember, begins with a sequence in the mall. And you're riding something through the mall. That shit is amazing because it's so simple. You're either just moving left or right and you're bashing through stuff or you're dodging a couple things. I don't even know if they make you jump. I don't even remember. But if they do make you jump, it's very simple. Left, right, or X to jump. That's it. The Sandman shit in Spider-Man 2, like, everything is so bespoke to the point of absurdity. Okay, you need to swing around using R2. Okay, you need to jam on R1 to whip up his face. Okay, now you need to like jam on the X button to punch up his face. And then now you need to do this. Like all these like super like all these button prompts on the screen. You know, that's like my least favorite thing ever. And it's like, this is how the game begins, like telling you how to do all these things that you'll basically never do again. Has nothing to do with like real combat in the game. Because at least like when you fight the sand dudes, Kevin, at least that's how the game actually plays.
Right, yeah, right.
This doesn't. So like if you think about like the big spectacle boss fights in like Bayonetta. I know you're not a fan of Bayonetta, but I think you know what I mean. As well, Steve does. Where it's like, okay, that happens like level 4 or 5. You've played a lot of the game, you know the battle mechanics. So when you do that boss thing, they don't have to tell you all that shit. You know how to fight it, even though you're like really big and you're doing like this crazy shit. You're still just playing Bayonetta. When you're doing that Sandman shit, you're not doing anything except pressing buttons and seeing shit happen. And you can't even liken that to like a QTE or even Dragon's Lair because those are reactions. You better do that or you're dead. You're waiting for a button prompt, boom, you hit it or you don't. This is not that. There's no reaction time here. This is not like a game that they're playing with you. It's just do these specific things and watch stuff happen. I just don't. In no instance do I think that's fun, I guess. Not just in Spider-Man 2, but in any game. And that's just not good spectacle to me.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, that they're, you know, if you want to show me a cutscene, show me a cutscene. I guess where they feel like the need to try and make it feel interactive, but it doesn't feel interactive. It's just, we're going to show you this prompt, hit it when you have time to continue on with the cutscene. Yeah.
And it's just like that doesn't do it for me. Steve, you criticized, and I defended with my life, the Final Fantasy 16 stuff, right? The big spectacle battles.
You sure did.
Right. But even in those, I think you could say, like, you're still playing Final Fantasy 16, even though you're transformed into Ifrit or whatever, Garuda. I don't even remember what the fuck. Like, at least you're a thing fighting another thing using the mechanics given to you by the game. You don't have that in Spider-Man 2. It's just, here are button prompts. And that continues throughout the whole game, Kevin. Like, good God, like, especially the first couple hours, every encounter, they're telling you to do this and that. And it's just like, please, God, make it stop.
See, but that's what I was going to say is, to me, like, I think, you know, what you're describing is a thing. And I get the issue with it, but I would peg it as being like 5% of the game, maybe. Like the vast majority of the time is not like that structured and non-interactive gameplay.
Right. I'm just saying that, like, even when you get into the city and you're dealing, like, that first part of the game where you're dealing with the aftermath of the Sandman fight, you know what I mean? You're helping people out. You're literally pulling them out of sand and stuff. It's like, you're still doing a lot of stuff like that. Like, okay, do you remember the thing where it's like, press L1 and R1 to grab onto something and then press both sticks down to like do something else? And it's just like, good fucking God. I'm not saying we should be able to walk up to everything and then press X and make it work. I understand some interactivity is good. At the same time, though, this feels a little absurd at sometimes for me. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah, I don't think it doesn't happen frequently enough that I think it's an issue for me.
Well, okay, I've done enough bitching. Why don't you tell me what you liked about this game, since I'm being grumpy.
Maybe I'm not going to start with specifically what I liked. I was surprised. So as far as just coming off of Miles Morales, and again, that was years ago at this point. So I don't remember it super clearly, but I feel like there was a significant shift in combat with this one. I feel like they really want you to parry and attack aggressively here. Miles Morales feels like there was much more of an emphasis on dodging. And I felt like it took me quite a while to get like really in the flow of the combat here. You really got to like pay attention to the colors of the attacks that are happening. And yeah, it took me a while to like just get my head wrapped around it. Did you have that going on at all, or?
I did not have that going on. And in fact, I felt like I had the opposite problem, where the combat felt extremely familiar to the point where I wasn't sure that they changed anything. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, this is probably more fresh in your mind. And I did play the first Spider-Man, so this is like my third rodeo with this. So maybe to me, this feels a bit like, okay, I've done this before, and maybe I'm not thinking of the stuff you're talking about Miles Morales now. Like if I went back and played it, I might be like, okay, this is a bit different. But as it stands right now, it does feel kind of like they didn't do enough here to catch me. And this is so weird. By the way, I want to stress this to the audience. I love the first two games. Like I really liked the first Spider-Man game, and I kind of loved Miles Morales. Like I really like those games. So I'm not coming at Spider-Man 2 with the intent of like shitting on it or like, oh, I hate this AAA bullshit. I like the AAA bullshit before of those other two games, right? So I'm as surprised as everyone else that I'm not feeling this one. You know, I want to like it. It seems like it should have everything I liked from the first two games, but it's just not hitting. Maybe I'm different. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I changed.
I might be like wildly just misremembering the combat as well. I don't remember Miles Morales having such a heavy emphasis on the special moves as this does. And actually, I really liked that. The specials feel powerful, and they've got some oomph behind them, but they really replenish fast. So it feels like these are baked into expecting you to use these in general combat. It's not this thing that you just save up to do once in a while. And so it doesn't feel like a waste to use any of these specials on just a regular ass enemy, or you need to like save them to dedicate them to just the tougher enemies. And I really like that. I think combat wise in general, because of that, always felt engaging to me.
Okay. I guess I'm not disengaged by combat. I'm definitely not bored by it. Again, it just feels so like the first time you get to like, I don't know, somewhere where you're like up above and you can like do the stealth thing where you can kind of wrap them up in the webs and kind of hang them or whatever. Not literally hang them, like kill them, because it's Spider-Man, of course. He's not going to kill anybody. But like, you know, hang them from the lamppost and shit, so the coppers can come and pick them up. Like, that shit felt exactly like the first two games to me. Like, I didn't really feel any different. I guess it's fine that it doesn't have to. I wasn't expecting like a drastically different game. Obviously, I bought Spider-Man 2 because I wanted that thing again, but maybe I actually didn't. Again, I'm putting a lot of this on me. I feel like I'm the one here who is fucked up.
I'll bitch a little bit. Not even just MJ, like any of the slower walking sections, I don't like that. And I don't know if it's even as much the fault of those sections. I think just you get so used to the traversal just feels undeniably good when you're swinging around the city. You know, that when it makes you like slow down and walk and play these story sections. Those were definitely the low points for me. It's infrequent enough that it's not a big issue. But maybe it just speaks more to how good it feels just to like dick around in the city. Actually, I just get your sass ready, Steve. I was thinking about Anthem a lot when I was playing this, because I remember saying when I played Anthem, I enjoyed it because the times in between when you are supposed to be doing something just feel good. And that's the same thing here.
Man, Kevin, you just, I don't know what's wrong with you Canadians anymore.
maybe Canada kept Anthem alive this whole time until a few months ago. Yeah, maybe they were just playing it up there.
I was thinking about that a lot during Anthem, and then more so Spider-Man. I think I've learned more about what I need to really like a video game, and it's specifically that, to have, in the times when there's downtime between what you're doing, to still be able to have fun and not feel bored. I think I'm just like very impatient by nature.
And games like Anthem have provided that for me.
Well, I think you're not giving Anthem its due either. Let's talk graphics, because you had an interesting comment that I thought
before we move on to that, I want to reinforce what you said about the walking and talking. I think that is legitimately what killed the game for me. I think that's why I didn't want to continue. I felt like I played about six-ish hours of it. I like the two sequences that you have to do where you're in Aunt May's house, and then that immediately transitions to you riding your bikes with your old childhood friend and going to school. And then you have to play the flashback. That shit. Oh, baby. Look, I'm not saying the first two have great stories, but at least I cared what was going on. I did not care what was happening here. I wanted that shit to be over so fast. I hated that shit. And then you do you do a couple more things. Miles talks to his uncle, he says he's going to be not the Prowler anymore. Okay, buddy, we'll see. And then, you do a couple of things like that. And then like you go right into your Peter Parker again at this facility that they built or some shit like that. And I'm like, and we're talking about bees and doing a bee drone. And I'm like, I'm out. I can't do this again. If you keep taking Spider-Man away from me, I can't continue to play this. And that's where I kind of quit because I was just like, the ratio, the pacing of, what they should have done. And one of my friends illuminated this. I was describing to him exactly this, my problems with the game, because he's a Spider-Man freak. He loves Spider-Man. So of course he liked this game. What he said to me was, they should have showed you Venom at the beginning. They should have showed you or let you do something with Venom, like right up front, and then flash back a few days ago, and then you play up to that point, because then that gives you that carrot. You know what you're working for. You know what you're getting towards this whole time. And if they gave me that, I might have actually been like, okay, you know what? This part sucks, but I know I'm going to get to something good. It would have, the dangling carrot would have been there for me. The way they told this, the dangling carrot was not there. I saw no future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's super fair. And I mean, that stuff is quite front loaded at the game. Not that there's not some slower walking sections, but when you talk about, Aunt May's house and then the school and then the fucking bee facility, like that's definitely the most densely packed that stuff happens in the game. But that's also not a defensive of that, because I think they know that these are the least engaged. They should know that these are the least engaging sections of the game. So why is it so heavy on the front end?
It is weird. Yeah. And then he told me right after that, the game picks up way up. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Maybe at some point, if I get bored enough, I'll try again to sit through it. Maybe, but like to get to that part, to get to something cool. But he's right. They should have dangled the carrot better, I think, and they didn't really do that. Anyway, yeah. I'm sorry. Go on about graphics.
I wanted you to share your comment first, because I thought it was interesting. I didn't feel the same way.
Oh yeah. Okay. So like basically, I feel Spider-Man 2 still looks pretty PS4 Pro-ish. It's very clearly using the same engine that they've been using this whole time. And it doesn't, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart looks 10 times better than this. Not that this is the same kind of game, but like, you're doing an open world thing. It can only look so good, right? And I understand that. At the same time, this didn't look a whole lot better, if at all, than Miles Morales. And again, it could just be since it's been over 5 years since I played Miles Morales, I could just be remembering this wrong. There's definitely some better ray tracing, like especially the reflections on like all the glass windows and shit. That shit looks amazing. But like, I don't know. I think it's like the character models and faces. Like Peter Parker looks like definitely straight out of like 2015 still to me. Like, and that again, that's fine. They're going for a certain look and a certain like performance, so you can only look so good. But it just doesn't. I'm not feeling the upgrade here, I guess.
Yeah, I thought when you are slinging around the city, I think this game looks gorgeous. I don't agree with the PS4 Pro assessment. And I never, like the whole time I was playing this, I never lost that fascination of just, you get around the city so fast, but at any time you can drop to the street and everything. Like there's a lot of detail going on in the city at ground level too. And I really like that. However, I am so fucking glad that you are wearing the suit, because the character models, like it sticks out incredibly bad how ugly they are, because the rest of this game to me looks so good. Like I think, not even just the character models. There are some, I think indoors in general often look shitty in this game.
I think so. I think so. I think it's like whenever Aunt May's house didn't look too bad, I guess. But but yeah, when you're indoors and you're doing the facility and stuff like that, that looks very like kind of last gen. But when you're outside, that shit looks immaculate. You're right.
Yeah.
Especially when you see a lot of the city, you're just swooping and diving. The water is like a big step up. I can at least, recognize that. Like the water, well, we know how PS4 water looked, right? Like this is this is way beyond that. So it's
I wish that the like good parts looked shittier, and I would give that up for like the shitty parts to look better. I think that inconsistency, I was thinking about how this game looked the whole time, and it actively bothered me in cutscenes seeing the character models.
Yeah, I don't. The problem is, I'm not even sure. Like my complaint, I'm not even sure can be rectified. Because I just feel like it has to look this way to perform this way. And you know me, I'll take performance over all else. I don't care what these characters. If that's what you got to do to hit 60 and keep it there, fine. I'll take it. So, it's not a bad looking game by any means. It's just, yeah.
It can be a bad looking game.
It can be, but overall, I don't think it is one.
I need to disclose something real quick. I had to do some super ghosting of my own, and I had to look up. No, there wasn't a PS4 version of this game. I could have sworn there was.
No.
Oops.
No. They did not do that. No, they went.
But there were so many others.
Yeah, we know. That's the story of this fucking generation. Yeah, I'm not even sure. I mean, go ahead. If you got anything else before I get to like something I want to say at the end. But yeah.
I do appreciate. I feel like this because this game is so AAA. This game just fucking screams AAA in your face. I feel like it does still respect the player more than I would expect from a game like that, especially a game that's like a big mainstream superhero type game. Because I don't feel like this game is superficial. I think they're especially the controls. I felt like there's some like nuance and complexity and some thought going in there. Yep. And I felt like this game gives you the ability to get out of it what you put into it. And I think it would be easy for a company like Activision to be like, well, this is Spider-Man. It looks cool. And we don't need to think about the video game-ness of it that much. And I don't feel like they went down that road. So I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. I really like the dynamic of playing between both Spider-Men.
I did too.
They both obviously control similarly, but there's also like, especially with their specials, there is enough nuance that they feel unique and they feel good to switch out for each other, but it never feels jarring when you're now playing as the other Spider-Man. And I think that in itself, like it made the game be able to feel fresh to me, because sometimes they make you play as Miles, sometimes they make you play as Peter, sometimes you can play as whoever you want to. But it kind of is like a nice palate cleanser when you are playing as Peter for half an hour, and then it's like, okay, now it is time to play with Miles, and I like that.
Yeah, I like that a lot too, and I thought their dialogue together was also very like, I thought it was very good.
Yeah. I do like that there's some like really interesting dynamics between Peter and Miles as the story goes on as well. But that's definitely, I wouldn't expect you to get to that point given your issues because of that. Not a complaint against the game at all. It is weird for me playing games like this because I don't care about superhero stuff so much that I feel like there's enough like base level Spider-Man knowledge that this game expects you to have, and I just don't have it. I'm Googling things like, is this character supposed to be associated with this character? I felt like there's constantly these things where, I don't know if this is like a staple of Spider-Man lore. There's these references that I'm sure I'm supposed to be picking up, but I'm not. And so that makes playing a game like this a little bit hard. And the only reason I'm playing this is because I liked Miles. And the only reason I played Miles is because I had got the PS5 not that long before that. And I wanted a new shiny PS5 game to play. So,
and that was a good game. I think what Spider-Man 2 does, it's not assuming that you care about Marvel in general. It's very heavily assuming you played the first game. That's what it's doing. So okay. I got everything that they were talking about because I had played the first one. And I think that's what they're kind of basing this off of. So, it is kind of fairly direct sequel in that regard. So since you didn't play that game, I think you kind of feel a little left out.
Yeah, that's fair. I forgot how much Spider-Man's ass is in your face, because I remember realizing this at Miles too, but like you are looking like right up Spider-Man's tailpipe so often when he's crawling in the vents.
Dog, it is fucking crazy. It is like Spider Ass 2 up in here.
I mean, he's got a tight ass. I was jealous.
Oh, you guys should see Venom's ass in Marvel Rivals. That thing is caking. I tell you what, that is some real ass. The character designers of Marvel Rivals did someone was a Venom fan. That's all I can say.
I guess you're doing all that fighting all the time. You're going to build your glutes.
Yeah. People made so many jokes about it online. They gave Venom a twerking emote. Like, you can make him do that now in Marvel Rivals because people talked about it so much.
Oh, why?
Yeah, so Steve is just disgusted. He's looking at me and nodding sagely, but not approving of this at all.
I want to follow up on the time thing too. Did your time tracking worked fine on this game the whole time? Hey,
yeah, I felt like So it said like you played like a whole bunch of hours. Was it like really off or something? Or
it was way off. So I would have guessed definitely well over 15 and likely over 20, and it was sitting at 4 hours for me. And it like, wow. I think by the time I was done the game, it said 7. One morning I paid attention to it, and I think when I started it said 4. I played for like 3.5 hours, and then when I turned it off, it said 5. So I don't know what the fuck was going on with that.
I don't know, man. Some things get really since I got a Steam Deck, some of my Steam hours have gotten completely jacked. It thinks I played like 450 hours of UFO 50, and that is not true. It's more like 120 or something like that. It is nowhere near in the 400s. Like it is. So sometimes I think some of these things are like, okay, we just decided you played this much.
Is that maybe that's like a just like sitting running in the background thing, or?
Maybe, but like it's also like I think what it is very often when I'm playing Steam Deck, it's not connected to the internet because I'm playing somewhere out and about. So I'm just playing something that I downloaded. So when I connect back, it doesn't know what to do with itself sometimes. I feel like is what's going on. Okay. I feel like if I were playing in an environment where I was connected the whole time, that wouldn't happen.
I also felt the need to mention that just because I didn't want anybody being like, oh, this fucking lying bitch is coming on Fine Time saying he finished Spider-Man 2 and he clearly didn't. But I did. God damn it.
You did. Yeah, I'm not saying this is a bad game by any means. I want to make that clear again. I'm just saying this is not something I want to personally play. That's all. I just couldn't get into it. And, I was kind of thinking like Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, I didn't really get into that either in like almost the same fashion. I really respected it. I probably like playing it more than Spider-Man 2 because I did beat it, but it wasn't something I was like in love with where like a lot of people like love this game. I love the technology behind it. Obviously it was amazing, but as a game, I'm like, doesn't really hit. Maybe Insomniac games just don't hit for me anymore, I was thinking. And then obviously that puts Wolverine in my mind. Like, I'm kind of worried now. I was kind of like, Spider-Man 2 made me less excited for Wolverine. I don't even know if that's fair or not. But, I mean, I'll still play Wolverine. I kind of want to play it when it comes out. But I have lesser expectations now. Again, I don't even know if that's fair to do.
I mean, I think that's fair because I don't think your issues with Spider-Man were with, how it controlled or how your issues were like core design decisions, right?
Yeah.
And so I think if there's definitely a chance that Wolverine could suffer the same fate.
Yeah, well, you're getting Wolverine when it comes out, right? Certainly. Are you?
I don't know. I'm so not into superhero stuff. And I've been thinking, I mentioned this, I guess, after the last I'm blanking on the name of the fucking PlayStation Direct.
State of Play.
Thank you. Holy shit! I couldn't remember either. Okay. Thank you, Steve.
What's wrong with you people?
I know.
I can think of the name State of
But I said I was surprised then that it took that long. I've been waiting, thinking I'm going to play this. It's going to show up on PlayStation Plus, and finally it did. But it's hard for me to get excited about like any other superhero stuff, really.
Yeah, and you guys know I love the Marvel stuff. I like the movies, or I'm into this shit. I always have been since I can remember. So, but Spider-Man has never been like one of my favorites. I like Spider-Man just fine. But he's never been like something, oh shit, I love Spider-Man. I've never been into it like that. So maybe that's part of it as well. But I'm definitely into Wolverine like that. So I'm kind of hoping, I don't know, maybe I'll just have to be the one to come on here and yap about that one. But yeah, okay. I'm glad this could be not a total good cop, bad cop, but just I didn't really care for it and you did. So all right.
All right, guys, that's enough 2023 bullshit. Spider-Man 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Okay, get us more with it, Steve.
Let's get with the times. I played Resident Evil Requiem on my Switch 2, yeah. And I finished the fucker, which is why I played it, well, partially why I played it on Switch 2. But I'm going to do my damnedest to not get too spoilery, but, a little bit might leak out here and again.
Steve, I got to ask. I have to ask. Did you play it with DLSS 5 on?
Well, look, we all know it's baked in, and we're going to get to that in a second. But first off, I need to address why I, played the Switch 2 version at all, because... Look, I actually had both versions pre-ordered. But then we all saw the footage pop up. Hey, this isn't the fall direct footage. This is actually looking not that bad. So then I canceled my PS5 version, and I just kept my Switch 2 triple pack, and that includes more key cards with 7 and 8 gold editions. Neat. I could have Vampire MILF wherever I go.
Vampy mommy milkers.
Did you consider wherever I want?
Did you consider playing on the computer or no?
What you mean, my Legion Go? Maybe.
No.
Why would I play it on my computer?
If you have to ask me that question, never the fuck mind. Go on.
You know me.
Jesus Christ. God damn, dude. Why? Never mind. I'm not even going to get into it. Go on. Forget it.
You know how little I'm on here.
Yeah.
Why don't we actually talk about how it plays on Switch 2? How it operates, because it's mostly magic. But I know that's not good enough for Andre. So, if there ever was a case for DLSS, the one that's baked into the Switch 2 and not the one that Digital Foundry was used to getting dunked on the other night. And we'll get to that later. Just hang the fuck on.
Yes, we will. But so it looks and runs good then.
Yeah, it's literally use case is literally this port of Requiem. It's technically only 540p in handheld, but it's looking much better than that in person because of the computer. It's doing its damnedest to keep to 60 most of the time. Outside of a handful of very action heavy sequences, can't be helped in these trying economic times. I wouldn't have minded a 4K 40 mode for dock time, but, hey, maybe for an update down the line, which we already know is coming because they already came out and said, hey, we sold a fuck ton of copies. There's a story thing coming down later in the line. Just sit tight.
Wow. Yeah, this has sold like 6 million copies already in, 3 weeks or so? So it's hot.
The game's hot. It runs pretty good on Switch 2. That's enough tech time. What's the fucking deal with this game, you people?
Tell me about it.
If you haven't been paying attention to us or, this series lately, Resident Evil Requiem gives up the pet protagonist from the last 2 games, Ethan, I'm going to attach my limbs with some first aid spray Winters, with 2 protagonists. Grace Ashcroft, a fairly mild-mannered FBI agent sent to investigate a nearby hotel that's overrun with zombies when she was a teenager. You know, that's the clip they kept playing again and again every time they kept showing it was on a new platform.
Yep.
And Leon Kennedy. Yes, that Leon Kennedy. He's older, he's wisecrackier, and he's dying from a strain of T virus. Oh, no. And both of their separate investigations lead to them meeting in an asylum where this game's antagonist, one Victor Gideon, he's a former Umbrella investigator, researcher. He's a researcher. He's going to be an asshole and separate the two. How does that work out? Well, unlike 5 or 6, where 2 protagonists or more meant, well, it's time for co-op action bullshit, this is a very single-player game. At the same time, this isn't Resident Evil 0, where the pair are on nearly equal footing. They are literally separated by a gate, and I'm sure we've all seen the memes where Leon's like, here, take this. It's a revolver with 1 bullet in case you need it. Oh, thanks, Leon. Well, I'll cherish it always. In case her general apprehension with everything around her wasn't the hint, Grace plays in the more new classic way introduced in 7. She's going to find a handgun lying around, and she can make knives and bullets out of scrap. And even a weird 3D printer thing that turns blood and other materials into helpful items, like a syringe that kills zombies without them getting up. Because, yes, this is still not a Kevin game. Because even if you had enough ammo to kill everything you see, killing them all is still ill-advised, as they might get up later if you didn't get them good enough the first time.
Hold on. I have a question. Did you say you can turn blood into other items?
The infected blood of zombos can be combined with other materials into other items. Like, you can find empty ink register tints to make ink ribbons to save your games, because you have limited saves in the Grace sections.
So blood plus empty ink ribbon equals ink ribbon.
Yeah.
That checks out.
No, that fucking doesn't.
Makes sense.
That doesn't make any fucking sense at all. Look, I'm not going to question the logic of the series that invented first aid spray and like green, blue, and red herbs like heal you. I mean, whatever, right? I don't really care. That's just absurd even for Resident Evil, but I'm with it.
So yeah, still not a Kevin game. Zombies still might get up later, but the hook with these guys, and you know, we got to do a new thing with the zombies each time, is that in a sick way, they're not really just zombies while we're wandering this asylum. They're kind of like ghosts haunting the place. Like, they're all stuck in routines that make most of them easy to avoid. Like, you'll be finding cleaning ladies like stuck in a loop of cleaning the bathroom again and again. And these orderlies like, the lights are turned on. And this big ass chef guy like stuck in this horrible loop of chopping shit and pour it into a vat of blood. Like, it's sad to watch, but it also like okay, they're all gonna kill me if I see them, but we could work around this.
You know what that reminds me of? The way you describe that kind of sounds BioShocky, right?
It's very similar to BioShock.
Yeah,
but Grace doesn't have all the tools they give you in BioShock, so for a good chunk of the way, you gotta pick and choose who you're killing, which, you know, if you get good later, there's a bunch of perks you can find to make all this stuff later worth it. But, you know, there's also the part that Andre was dreading, and the reason why he skipped it. Action hero Leon. Oh, he's going to break the game. Oh, he's too powerful. He's perfectly fine, because there's still finite amounts of ammo in his sections. And frankly, you're going to want to hang on to a lot of that good stuff for bosses, or when you get swarmed by larger amounts of enemies. He comes with a machete that's good for sneaking up on or for one-on-one confrontation, but you do need to manage its sharpness. And you got to keep an eye around you too, because once a second enemy shows up while you're wailing on a first one, you can't. If it can take a while for you to be wailing on this one guy, and if a second one shows up, you're getting bit.
How do you maintain its sharpness?
You just sharpen it when you have a moment.
So you can like do it whenever you want.
You can do it wherever you want. It's not like Monster Hunter where you have whetstones, although it does.
Okay.
I'm reminded of that because it does like pretty much have the same sound cues from that. It's not as brain dead than the trailers make it out to be, because yes, we've all seen, well, let's pick up a chainsaw that this one zombie had for some reason. And he's not kicking down as many doors as it looked like he was going to. That just was fancy for the trailer. That's like one part.
You know how I am. As soon as I hear that man say one quip, I'm asking for a refund. So
the quips never stop. Like, we end up at a church at some point, like, must be the Friday service, and he's it's funny.
I hate this man so much. I hate him. He single-handedly ruined Resident Evil for me. This son of a bitch. I can't stand him. I'm sorry.
The man's dying, Andre. Show some respect.
Tell me off the air if he dies at the end of the game. I want to know.
You're not going to play it?
No. Tell me later.
Anyway, these segments are shorter than Grace's, and you just most of the way in. Look, I'm talking circles because I don't want to spoil anything, but look, by the time we get to this at the end of the year, this might be one of my 3 game of the years, because that's how we do this. We pick 3. This might be one of them. It's decently paced. We separated the paces perfectly between Grace and Leon. Like, yes, she's the amateur, he's the expert. We separated the two very nicely. You got Grace trying to keep track of her big looming monster, the girl, which is anything but. It's a big blob that follows her around and may or may not be eating her. It's all good stuff, but, I can't talk about it because no one else here played it.
Well, okay, let me ask you one thing, because this was in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. They go back to Raccoon City, and I saw that one trailer where he opens the door and it's the police station. Is that shit cool, or is it just like nostalgia bait? Is that shit like actually cool?
It's both.
Okay. I can accept that.
I can't say more than that at this time.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay. You good on the Resident Evil, or you got some more?
Look, there's going to be more story stuff coming, and we're going to be circling back to this eventually. I'm going to be circling back to this eventually.
Okay.
But, it's Resident Evil, not a game for Kevin. Stay away.
I really feel like Andre should play this with you. I don't even know why I care about this so much, but I don't care about Resident Evil. I just wanted Andre to play this for the show.
Maybe when it's not $70, and maybe I'll find a way to find it in my heart to. Well, I'm definitely not playing on Switch 2. That's for fucking sure. I'll find like a. I mean, I doubt it's going to come to Royale with Cheese anytime this decade, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, 8 just came to Royale with Cheese.
Did it? Okay, so
Steve, do you think Andre would change his mind about this after playing it?
Oh man, I don't know. If he got pretty visceral about the quips just now, so maybe not.
Ooh, I can't. Oh, did you play in first person or third person? Because you can pick.
Well, I played the way they intended it, first person with Grace and third person with Leon.
That's what they default you to?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't imagine playing first person with Leon. That seems weird.
That's the artist's intent. That's the defaults. I kept it that way. It fit.
All right. Look, it definitely doesn't sound like a bad game by any means. It's just, it doesn't seem like schlock like, Resident Evil 6 or something like that. So
Resident Evil 6 was some schlock.
That game is just oof. Okay, well, glad you had a good time with the Resident and the Evil. You're looking a little bloody there on the head. Do you want to take a shower? Maybe we should wash that off. Quick, Kevin, push him in the shower. Get his clothes off. Take his clothes off.
Okay, I'll get the mister out.
Okay, we'll be right back, everybody.
It's time to hit the showers. We'll be right back on Fine Time.
All right, Kevin, get him out, dry him off. Dry off his ass
Get
and balls.
Steve out or what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When you say get him out, that could mean a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, Steve, you still feeling T-virusy?
I've been sitting over here for a while now. What the hell is that over there?
Cut. And then there's like or wait, maybe you should do the record scratch. You might be wondering how we got into the situation. No, we don't do that anymore. All right.
Real theater of the mind.
Okay. I don't have a record scratch thing. Okay. Guys, we got to talk about it. We've all seen it. Everyone's talking about it. We have to as well. On Monday, NVIDIA unveiled the future of DLSS in DLSS 5, which will apply a transformative AI sheen to the entire image, including faces and lighting. Not just upscaling anymore. They're changing the image that you are seeing on the screen in a way that seems to completely disregard everything, including artistic intentions of the scene, because that's what AI does, right? That's all it's good for. Seeing stuff and then regurgitating it back in a way that makes no sense because it's not a person. I don't think I have to explain. I mean, everyone's seen it. What did you guys think? What was your first thought when this was breaking a couple days ago, Kevin? What did you see?
I mean, I think I generally thought what everybody else did. I don't know. I mean, this is not something that this is not something that I want to turn mainstream, and I don't think that this is going to turn mainstream. I mean, I honestly wonder if this is even going to move forward at this point.
That's a good question, Steve. But yeah, what did you think?
My knee-jerk response was, this isn't the DLSS I was dealing with the other week in Resident Evil Requiem for the Nintendo Switch 2. What the hell is this?
Yeah, that sure is. I mean, okay, just on its surface, you know what the faces reminded me of, especially the Grace Ashcroft face? Remember how those incels, you guys remember this, on Twitter, they would complain about how women were ugly in video games because of woke. Oh, look at Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn, and like, and then they she's so ugly, she has hair in her face, and then they Photoshop her and like yassify her face into like basically looking like a porn ad. And it's like, wouldn't it be so much better if she looked like this so I can fucking get a boner? Like, basically, that's what this AI treatment of Grace looked like. But pretty much every character, but especially her. That shit's crazy. Like the chuds are winning. If this shit goes mainstream, like, and it has gone mainstream, like this shit has blown up to the point where mainstream news, like the BBC, is like reporting on this. Like, that's how badly, because typically you might see something like this. It's like, oh, only people who are extremely online will ever like know about this. No, like everyone knows about this. My mom will probably know about this because it's on the real news now. So. I think this might be a good time to remind everybody what DLSS stands for. Deep Learning Super Sampling. What DLSS does, or at least what it was intended to do, was take a low-resolution image and upscale that image so the game can perform better because it's actually running at a lower internal resolution. What are we looking at with DLSS 5? This has nothing to do with that. This is just completely changing an image into AI horse shit. So, like, I guess my question is, like, why is this still called DLSS? Shouldn't they just call this something else? Because this is not deep learning super sampling anymore. That's for sure.
You know what happened? Remember back in January when I brought up in passing, oh, guys, look, the AI businesses, they're all hemorrhaging money. And I think that's still going on. And now they need to show all them investors what it can do. I'm just going to keep bringing up Requiem all night because running Requiem on Switch 2 isn't something you could show or explain to a brain-dead investor that's like, I have money to throw at AI. What can you show me that it does? You can't explain that to an investor. This bullshit is. And honestly, we really should expect a little better from Digital Foundry, but clearly we can't.
Oh man, what a mess for them. That's a big self goal. That is, I mean, they put out another video.
Give me a quick refresher on that, because I didn't see their video. I seen that they were taking some shit about it today, but I don't know what they were. They just enamored with it, or what was
They
the
were
deal?
enamored with it, and they were looking at it like super uncritically in a way that didn't make sense. And they were just like, kind of just like, well, this seems good. Like, not really addressing what's happening here with any like artistic expression or anything. They were just looking at it because technology, and they should look at it because technology, but the way they were talking about it was just so like, oof. And like, it was Rich and Oliver in this video. John and Alex were not in this video, and that's kind of where the divide is coming from. They hate this shit. So they actually put up a follow-up video today saying, hey, we jumped the gun on this. We shouldn't have gone forward without some more like critical thinking about this, etc. And and that's fine. They're kind of owning it, and that's okay. But like, yeah, it was the way they were just so uncritically looking at the images and not really talking about what's going on. Because what struck me more than the faces, it was what it was doing to the lighting. Again, we're going back to Requiem. Again, this is the Requiem show. Like, you saw that opening scene. Besides her face, Steve, that shit's supposed to be dreary and raining, or wherever she is. I don't know where. It with the DLSS 5 on, it looks like fucking Silent Hill. It looks like foggy and like depressing.
The rain is a big part of that scene. It needs to be raining.
Yeah, and it's just the tenor of it is all wrong. Like, it's interpreting, ooh, it's like murky outside, but it's like, no, there's an intention behind the way this thing looks. And of course, the AI doesn't understand that because it doesn't understand a goddamn thing. And like, if you looked at the other, like, I saw this in the Digital Foundry video, if you look at all the other examples that are not faces, but just lighting in any given game where they were doing it, like, I think one of them was Ask Creed Shadows or Harry Potter or whatever, it looked better with it off, because it's like, here is some like some mood lighting, and then like when they turn on the DLSS 5, it's like everything has big floodlights on it. Like, someone put giant floodlights on everything. Where to the point where it's like
super blown out.
Yeah, where it almost has no. Okay, you saw this too, where it almost has like no lighting at all. So it's like, how does this look better? Like, what are we talking about? And like, am I like? I was looking at this shit. It's like, am I the one who's crazy? This looks like shit. But yeah, okay. Here's another thing. Did you guys see how much power this takes to do? So in that video, the games were running on a 5090, and then it took another 5090 to apply all the AI slop in real time. 2 5090s.
It's obscene. Just obscene.
I mean, that's kind of funny.
It is. Oh, it's funny. It's funny, all right.
It's sick.
It's funny in its own sick ass way. It sure is. By the way, you need 2 5090s for your game to look like shit, and for Grace Ashcroft to look like porn. Wow. Like, okay, look, I don't know enough about computers other than my laptops here with the whatever card it has. Can you use 2 5090s at once? Is that a thing someone can do? Can you have 2 5090s in your computer?
I don't like, they used to have SLI, but I don't think that's a thing anymore, is it? Where they would have like a connector cable for multiple graphics cards. I don't think anybody's done that for quite a few years.
You can buy graphics. You can use graphics cards that way, but I don't know if games are capable of using 2 graphics cards in general purpose. Are they?
I don't know. I don't have
You
the money
are
for
asking
2
the
5090s
wrong
myself.
guys.
I don't know. Look, I don't know either. I'm just putting it out there. I have no clue. I don't know, man. Considering those things are up to now $5,000 because of AI, you're going to spend $10,000 for Resident Evil 9 Requiem to look like that? Good God. Anyway, Kevin, you kind of already touched on this, but are devs going to really use this? Because I feel like if it's so expensive in a computing sense, where the fact that you need like 25090s to make this run, dude, we can't even do path tracing barely. How are we going to do this? I don't think devs are actually going to use this.
Do devs have the option to like this needs to be enabled in the game? This isn't like an NVIDIA level option that you can bump on, or do we know that?
That's a good question. Considering what they're applying it to, maybe I should explain further. What I mean by devs using this are like they're designing their game around it. It's designed to be using DLSS 5 or something like that. Right? I guess in a way, like they don't have to plan for it. You can just turn it on and the AI is going to do whatever horse shit it wants. But like, do you see I don't see Capcom in the future being like Resident Evil 10 runs best on DLSS 5 on a 6090 or something, or 7090. Like I don't see that.
I don't know how you even really can design around that. It doesn't seem like it has the you know what I mean? Like it just on or off?
Yeah, how do you design around AI, Steve? I guess that is impossible.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, like I brought up, the money factor. I would think, man, maybe we would need to see some applications like right fucking now. Around about a year ago, Level 5 got laughed out of the proverbial room for saying, "Oh man, we love AI. We used it in Inazuma 11, but not Fantasy Life. We didn't use that." Whole fucked up story there, but we haven't heard a damn thing since from them. They like hid the fuck away after that. So maybe I would think everyone else is going to read the room after that, but I would think if anyone's going to care from a developer side, we'll find out.
And well, yeah, if anyone out there is like, "Oh, this looks great. This is going to make our game," this is like, I'm never buying your fucking game, dude. Get out of here. All right, Steve. Before we were talking about this yesterday and putting this in the sheet, he was telling me he has a take that's going to piss me off. So, Steve, tell me your take that's going to piss me off.
Well, maybe it won't anymore because Kevin was kind of grazing it before. Because, guys, yes, this sucks. It's terrible. And the worst part of it all, the real worst part of it is that it doesn't matter. No one wants this, even if it worked, because the public at large doesn't care about the kind of perceived graphic fidelity this would provide, because if they did, we wouldn't have bought all these Switches. And the kids wouldn't have glommed onto Minecraft, which looks like graphics on Nintendo 64 too. So can we be fucking done with this, we must go for the graphics shit now? I already gave credit where credit is due again and again for the baked-in DLSS doing the Requiem port. I mean, that's what it's for, the computing. Can we stop with the AI art now?
I think I'll push back on you a little bit and say that we care about graphics that actually matter. Astrobot is a success because it looks fucking amazing and runs without a hitch. I don't think the common person is going to be able to articulate that, right? They're not going to be able to say that like us because we're enthusiasts. But performance and stuff does matter to the general public. It's just a matter of not being able to like, oh, this game just feels so good to play. They don't really have the words for it, right? And I think that's why Nintendo is secretly always pushed for 60 as much as they can, whenever they can, because of that. They know that's the fun. That's part of the fun factor for people. They don't know why Super Mario Odyssey feels so fucking good. They just know that it feels good. So I think that like stuff like DLSS or pre-5 is very good for like Switch 2 because it allows them to do stuff like that. It allows them to be like, well, they don't have to go to their friends' houses anymore. And it's like, well, I had fun playing Pragmata at his house, but when I got it on Switch 2, it for some reason it doesn't feel the same. Now that's not going to happen anymore because it's going to run 60. So your take doesn't piss me off, but I do want to, I will say that much.
Always got to be a scotch about this stuff.
Look, man, I'm just telling you, I know how the public thinks. I know a little bit. Okay?
A real man of the people.
All right, for lack of anything else to talk about, quite honestly, this cycle, thank God for the DLSS mess, because we wouldn't even have had much here. But the Future Game Show happened, what, a week ago, I would say, Steve?
That sounds about right, yeah.
And this isn't typically something we watch, because usually they go over like stuff that we've seen like quite a bit or know about, but they did have some premieres. So we kind of want to do a short segment, not like a, Nintendo Direct style thing where you really dig into everything. But, we can talk about a few things that we saw there and maybe bring up a few topics of discussion here or there. Why not? What do you say? Video games, huh? We like them. We play them.
All right.
Those.
Okay. I like that it was hosted by Salvando from Dragon Quest XI and Lizelle from Baldur's Gate 3. Thank them for showing up.
Woo!
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, they started off with Cordura. That thanks a lot, autocorrect. We fucking cinematic trailer. I hate that shit because I feel like the character models and overall vibes were on point, but what the fuck do we do? Looks like a spoopy heist sort of game, but without gameplay, I'm just sort of guessing.
All I really got from that is that the main guy looked like a gothic version of Von Kaiser. That's about it.
Von Kaiser.
Yeah, Von Kaiser.
Yeah, a while ago, I played most of Dave the Diver on Royale with cheese, and I played it most of the way. And then 2 Game Awards ago, they announced Dave the Diver in the Jungle. Okay, I'll wait for this to come out before talking about it on the show. And then a whole year passed. Then I got worried, but it's coming now. I'll finally talk about it eventually. You know what, Kevin? This might be a Kevin game.
Oh, I like Kevin games.
And you don't have to pay that much if you still have Royale with cheese. I think it even might be on Game Pass. I don't remember.
No, okay.
I was very perturbed that our friend Dave from Tales from the Backlog did not like Dave the Diver. I thought that was kind of a shoo-in for him, and he did not like it. I guess there could only be one day for himself.
That's rude.
I mean, it's true. I'm just saying, Dave. It's true, Dave. If you're listening, you can tell me about yourself, but I already know about you.
I have to deal with other Steves on the regular. Whatever.
Yeah, I guess you do.
But speaking of things we have to deal with other things of, how about a 7th Guest remake? Remember in the 90s when that was the reason to get a CD-ROM drive for your computer? I don't know how I feel about a version without the pre-rendered backgrounds and FMV, but it's good that it's coming back around, I think.
If you guys remember, I think it was a couple years ago where they had that full 3D remake of Riven, the sequel to Myst. Mm-hmm. You guys remember that? And like Unreal Engine 5 or whatever. And I was thinking to myself when they announced that project, I'm like, there's no way that can work. There's no way they can get the look of that game down in 3D graphics. I just don't think it's possible. Guess what? My bitch ass is wrong. They did it. That shit looks amazing. Like for like a full, like it really does look like you're walking around those old pre-renders. So they managed to do it. This 7th Guest VR thing, like now for regular systems, doesn't seem like it's that. I get it. It was made for VR and it could only look so good. At the same time, if I'm going to play these, I think I will stick to the Night Dive re-releases that are on like Steam or whatever. I just don't see a reason to, unless I like really love the original and I want to see a different take, sure. But I just don't see myself playing this.
Speaking of visuals and poor transitional choices that I keep making today, they showed off a little thing called Project Shadow Glass. This has some vibes. It's a, I guess we'd call it a Western RPG with a pixely art, 3D art style. It's clearly fairly early development, but it feels like what Sierra wanted Quest for Glory to be, but couldn't. They're like getting creative with the environment. We're sneaking up behind guards and like tapping them on the shoulder to do things. We're freezing water in the middle of the air to create an ice thing. I get what they're trying to do here. I don't usually like to futz around with demos, but one's coming and I might just fucking might here.
I might as well try it.
They have a very cool art style.
And a thing I'm really into, and frankly, it's the reason why I even knew this showcase was happening in the first case. Defender of the Crown, The Legend Returns. I played the fuck out of this game on the NES. No, really, it had a pretty good port on there. But it looks like they're sprucing up the computer version, adding up new ways to play the game too, like several different graphical styles. It's not the most complicated game in the world, but there was a certain charm in managing your guys and capturing territory and holding your jousting tournaments to put your gold and your land on the line. It's 80s nerdery as fuck.
You know, I like this current trend. Have you guys seen like last month they did like Jaws something edition? Like the NES version of Jaws, but like spruced up, like a kind of reimagined a little bit.
Yeah.
You guys know it's really cool. I played it because I played the original Jaws back in the day. A neighbor or someone had it, so I played a fair bit of it, and I always did like that game. So you can play the original version and you can play like the new version, and I like it because it really respects. It doesn't quality of life the fucking fun out of everything. It's actually like a nice, cool new version of Jaws. So it's fun. You know, I'm hoping Defender of the Crown can be very similar. I will admit that there was a game called Clean Up Earth, and there was a bunch of trash around. And Steve, I think you already know what thought I had about you. I was thinking thoughts about you.
No, Andre, I won't be obtuse and say that everyone can just go outside and clean shit up with their sci-fi vacuum cleaners.
Yep, that was the thought.
But I will say that even though they said you could play by yourself, that there's going to be no fucking way it is fun to play by yourself. I think you need at least a few friends to play with.
Probably, but also like I don't like the art style of this, so nobody's getting me to play this anyway. Steve, I have a proposal for you. Okay, because they showed that new Dark Pictures game, Directive 8020. It's coming out soon. We need to do a Dark Pictures series or something on this show. I have never played any of those games. I guess you played Until Dawn, but does that even count?
It's in the neighborhood, but it's not a Dark Pictures game, no.
We got to do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of them on Royale with cheese. We just need to fucking do that.
For sure. Okay. Handshake over the internet?
Handshake over the internet.
All right, there we go.
Yeah. You know, something we haven't done in a minute. They showed off Silver Pines, and I thought it looked pretty good. But, you know, they had a Switch logo in there, and there's no fucking way that it was the Switch version running in that.
I'll bet 1,000 fine time dollars, which I don't even have anymore, that was not Switch footage. There's no way. That was Steam footage.
Something I do know, though, there are no ghosts at the Grand. It's not dead yet.
That's a name I have not heard in a long time.
you know, I was worried about some Xbox games. I guess we're not worried about this one yet.
Nope.
And I guess the Moonlighter people, they've been busy. They're making Moonlighter 2, and they're working on Revamp. And this feels like the biggest, please team up with us, Castlevania. Oh, please, oh, please, oh, please.
Oh, my God. They're like begging for it. They're like on the corner, like putting on the classic, I am wearing a tattered hoodie and brown clothes and holding the tin cup that will rattle coins, like for Castlevania.
I'm sure it'll be fine, but come on, have some self-respect.
They showed something I really liked soon after this called Hello Sunshine. It was the one with the big robot. You have to stay in the shadow of the robot because the sun is so harsh, the environment's so crazy harsh that you have to it's the only way you can survive is being in shade. I thought that looked cool. Maybe kind of a limited concept. Like I wouldn't want like a 10-hour game of that maybe, but like that seemed neat, I think.
I thought this was the most interesting thing we've seen here. I do wonder if that what they can introduce to make that not get too far to the shadow thing be a little tedious at a certain point though.
Well, you are making stops to the side and crafting things so you could stay out of the shadow longer, like you're making armor and weapons and things. So, you know, I guess the idea is to, you know, eventually be able to fend for yourself better.
I guess, but like you can, it seemed like you can kind of go off the beaten path, but maybe they can trick it up. Maybe at some point you have to climb a wall, so you have to follow the robot's shadow on the wall or something. You know, that could be a little thing, right? I don't know. I think if they keep it interesting enough, that would be good. Here's hoping. Definitely need graphics on PlayStation 5 for that, though.
Oh, am I not allowed to play this on my computer?
Oh, you can play on the computer. I'll allow you to play on the computer.
Oh, thank you, Andre.
Okay, I'm a generous man.
I will specially play it on the computer. I will not play it on the computer.
Come on.
You know, maybe I'm getting older and stupider, but Papa Needs a Headshot looked all right. In my 20s, I would be like, no, this looks stupid. You're a cowboy shooting robots and mutants in the face, but it's like, this is all right. I will wait for some manner of sale.
The name Papa Needs a Headshot signifies to me that it's going to have a sense of humor that's going to piss me off. So I think I'll just pass.
When Epic gives it to me on a Thursday, I will load it onto my account.
I have never played a single game on Epic Game Store. I don't think I've ever loaded anything on there. I think I just get some free games and then log off.
I mean, that's what I've been doing since I got my Epic account. just load the games on.
Kevin, have you ever played a game off of Epic Game Store?
I've not ever played a game off Epic Game Store.
Do you even have that installed on like your computer?
I don't. If I get the like free Amazon shit once in a while, but
okay.
I think I might have, because I think I might have got it because some of the free Amazon games you have to get through Epic, but
yes.
It's been a while.
Yep.
That's what I did too.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
I did the same thing.
So then we had the dungeon experience. Apparently this was shown off 5 years ago. It was shown off again today, and it still doesn't have a date. I mean, this thing was packed enough as it was. I mean, I think we could have not shown it if you didn't have a date ready.
You know, this might be a good time to ask you this, because I remember when we covered that last State of Play. See, I remember the name now, State of Play. You were for some reason you were very put off by like how many games were like 2027 or no date at all. And I push back on you saying like, hey, what? Like, yes, that is like, why are you having a problem with this now? That is what these shows are. I don't understand why this is a big deal. But you didn't seem to really feel that way about this show. Is it because it's literally called Future Game Show or something? Like, is the name doing a lot of heavy lifting for you? Or
it's partially that, but I also feel like if you are on the console doing a show for the console, a Nintendo Direct, the Sony State of Play, the Xbox Showcase, you should be talking about stuff that I could be playing imminently on those systems.
That has never been what they are. Like, Nintendo Directs are like more that, right? But certainly not a State of Play.
Okay, but they were first, and that's my benchmark for these things.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, oh my god, you've been paying attention to this stuff longer, and you have a higher standard.
I kind of see where Steve's coming from. I feel like the Future Game Show is allowed to be a little bit more wishy-washy than the State of Play.
Oh, I just don't see the difference, whether it's a Game Awards or Summer Games. I don't know. They're just shows showing you stuff that's coming out.
I don't know. Maybe the Game Awards needs to be taken a test too, because how's that High Guard game doing?
It's not doing. It doesn't exist anymore. But Pal World sold 14 zillion copies in 2 days, and now no one cares about it.
Something people are caring about a bit is Outbound. A bunch of people on my feed are playing that. Well, they're not playing it. They're playing the demo of that. And it's looking like it's a cozier sort of survival game for, people that want that. You take your RV to the woods and you go camping.
Deep Dish Dungeon looked like something I would call streamer bait, where it's like a goofy multiplayer thing to do with like 3 of your friends on Twitch while like thousands of people giggle and watch or say, oh, look, he's come around the corner. Like it literally just seems like a game made for streaming, doesn't it?
I don't know. Maybe not if we're simulating being a gate guard in Gate Guard Simulator. And you know the fuck what? Maybe. Definitely when Amazon tosses me a key, because I feel like that's going to be when that happens. I'll play it then.
Gate Guard Simulator legit looks like a joke mod for like Morrowind or Oblivion or something, where you just literally, you get to play as the guard at the gate at the main castle or something. That's legit what it looks like. That's what the graphics look like.
I thought this looks like something that somebody would make somebody else play for losing all your money on Place Your Bets.
Oh shit. I would not. If that game is longer than like an hour, I would probably hate it. There's no way.
Okay, I think you people need to start playing more shit on purpose around here because you people standards are way too high.
Oh, okay, fine.
I do not feel like not wanting to play Gate Guard Simulator is too high of standards. I think that's a perfectly acceptable standard.
This is how Kevin gets to play Anthem when he loses all his money on Place Your Bets.
That was my fault. I told y'all both to play Anthem. Okay,
you did, and he's like, "Oh, this game is wonderful. I'll take my fine time dollars now."
It's not my fault. He liked it. I didn't know how popular it was in Canada.
You sick fuck.
I mean, I've seen some chatter online about the Ninth Dragon, and of course I watched it in this presentation. It looked okay to me, but I feel like you guys were a lot more...
I mean, it looked all right, but I also could have sworn we've seen this before. But then they said this was the reveal trailer.
That's what I thought too. That it looked, and I think something similar to something from the last year's Game Awards, maybe.
That's the problem with all these shows and all of these long lead times from presentation to release time. None of these games actually exist.
Are we sure? Games don't exist?
I mean, many games do exist, but many of the games shown do not.
Do they not exist until they are put on a shelf and or a digital storefront?
Well, they need to be on a digital storefront at least.
Okay. God. I just wanted to know your criteria. So technically, does Splatoon Raiders not exist?
We know it's coming.
I don't know. I feel like by the parameters you set up,
it does not exist right now. But I feel like that's more of an entity than the other thing.
Okay,
that we already forgot about.
That seems all right. Anyway, thank you for your game show.
All right. I need to talk about something. Steve and I got in argument about this a while ago, so we need some impartial feedback.
Me.
There was about a month ago at this point, a leaker, Special Nick, who My Nintendo News mentions has been rather hit or miss at leaks, claimed that the Wii, DS, and Sega CD will be showing up on Nintendo Switch Online in the future. And that story went on to say, Wii and DS will naturally come, which I immediately wrote off. I don't think Sega CD would be in the cards, and I think Wii is a possibility, but it's unlikely. I don't think there's a chance in hell we're ever going to see DS, because I don't think the dual screen and touchscreen thing lend themselves to playing on Switch at all in the way that Nintendo would want you to play. I think Nintendo needs to have a very strong comfort level in their older games, not feeling hamstrung by making them available on newer hardware. But Steve seems to think that both Wii and DS are absolutely on board for NSO. So let's hash it out, Steve.
Yeah, tell us your side of this. Why do you think they're coming?
All right, I think we need to just break this down by console. Wii is just going to, it's got the Joy-Con it can lean off of. It's going to likely be a Switch 2 exclusive, but it definitely feels a lot more plausible than it did at the beginning of Nintendo Switch Online applications is life. Sega CD, why the fuck not? Genesis has slowed to something like one update a year, but if licensing the library is reasonable enough to be a perk, there's no reason to not toss that out on the pass, which really takes us to DS. And a while ago, I have my head off my ass just like you and say, no way, everything needs to be absolutely kumbaya with all three play modes. But bear with me. Almost a year into the Switch's lifespan, we got a remaster of DS Cult Classic, The World Ends With You. It is the most DS-y game to have ever DS'd, and playing it on your TV is garbage. You needed to play it the old-fashioned way, on the touchscreen, probably portably with, or more likely without a stylus. I recommend with. That's your thing. Okay, that's a one weird one-off, but Nintendo themselves started getting more creative. Labo comes out and starts telling kids to play goofy games with cardboard without a TV a lot of the time. Steve, Labo doesn't fucking count.
I mean, it doesn't.
I think.
Okay.
See, I think it does. I'll score one for Steve. I think it counts.
Labo doesn't fucking count.
Stop yelling at me. God, okay, I just agreed with you.
Okay, but how about Castlevania Dominus Collection, a collection of 3 DS games, plus Haunted Castle, where different accommodations were made for modern platforms. Oh man, this isn't the craziest idea in the world to me anymore. Like, how much do you want to bet that as soon as they came up with that for Direct, Nintendo was like, look, you come on over here and show Nerd what to do. And maybe games that are touchscreen heavy will just have to be undocked only, because Nintendo has already formally opened the door with the Virtual Boy. We've had this for a bit now, and we know this only works undocked. Now that everyone knows what a Switch is, they can and have been more flexible with what it can do. We don't have to be, there's 3 play modes and everything has to be nice anymore.
See, I don't think it has to be the 3 play modes even necessarily. And I hear what you're saying as far as, with the Virtual Boy, obviously you're not playing this on the TV, and I'm not saying that they're not fine with that. Sega CD, there's no reason that it can't happen. The Joy-Cons just do not work in the same way that the Wiimotes did, right? Even I found that out. Anybody that played House of the Dead, right? There's the constant calibration adjustment thing. I'm not saying that those games can't be done, but I think just to say we're putting this on NSO where we're just essentially uploading the ROMs and expecting things to be transferable through this one emulator without doing it on special case by case ports is an entirely different thing. And I think DS is the most unlikely. And again, it's not a play mode thing, but I cannot ever see Nintendo saying, because you have to play these in handheld because they use the touchscreen, but just unless they, they had that flip grip years ago for the original Switch, right, where you could mount your Joy-Cons on and have the Switch in vertical orientation while you played it in handheld. That's the only way something like this really works, and they're not going to go down that path for a DS emulator. I can never see them say that, either you're going to have one of the screens larger and they're going to be side by side with a big black space around them. I can't see them saying you're going to have to hit the ZL button to switch between the top and bottom screens. It's just too clunky to Nintendo feel like they can implement with any sort of elegance.
Okay, we're saying a lot of things here. Okay. As far as DS goes, I think that's perfectly doable. It's like what Steve said about Castlevania Dominus Collection. But also, if you remember, there was also that Mega Man Zero/ZX collection. Both ZX games are DS games. And guess what? They handled that shit beautifully. Now, I get it. Those aren't games where you have to touch the screen or whatever. So I guess maybe it's a bit different. However, their solution for that was great, and it worked on the TV, obviously, and it worked in handheld pretty well, or in my case, a tabletop mode.
You can't be using all the modes.
I'm sorry. As for Wii, I don't see why they can't just Virtual Boy that shit. Make it the opposite. Virtual Boy, you have to play undocked in a peripheral. Say, if you want to play Nintendo Classics Wii, you have to play on the TV, and you need our accessory that we sell at Nintendo.com. And Kevin, that would solve the thing. They can sell either a fake Wiimote with the bar or whatever to make it work that way. I don't know how. Or maybe it could have some sort of certain way that it works because it's on the TV and it knows it's on the TV. You calibrate it a certain way. And of course, they love selling their old controllers, so they could make Wiimotes if you want. But I don't see why, if they engineered it a certain way to work on TVs and you calibrate it a certain way, I don't see why Wii couldn't work beautifully. You could even hold the two The right, I guess if you're left-handed, you could reverse it, but the right hand could be the Wiimote, your left hand could be the nunchuck. There's no reason why it can't work that way, in my opinion. So I think Wii is kind of I think I'm with Steve. It's a shoo-in.
I think it's doable that way if they wanted to sell an accessory. I think it's still a stretch. The DS thing is what most doesn't hold water for me. Yes, some games you could say this would be a usable experience to port to the Switch, and that's fine. But I cannot see them saying we're going to just like put a bunch of the fucking DS classics on Nintendo Switch Online. I just don't think they work with like screen switching the way that they would want them to. I don't think there's any like good way to be able to see both screens at the same time. And also those games were designed to be used with a stylus. I don't think that like using your finger on the touch screen for most of those games is going to have near the same effect.
You mean you didn't buy a stylus for yourself at some point? They're like $8 for 2 on Amazon, Kevin.
I think the Virtual Boy was a real special case, and it made almost more sense to be like, you need to come and you need to buy this expensive accessory because it's niche. Not everybody that has a Nintendo Switch Online is going to give a shit enough to get the Virtual Boy. Wii is a different thing. I can almost see there being more blowback where people are like, what the fuck, because everybody is going to want to play Wii if they bring it on, but then you've got to order a special Wiimote and a nunchuck and a sensor bar and the whole 9 yards. Again, I don't think it's completely out of the realm of possibility, but I think I would put all of my fine time money against DS coming to Nintendo Switch Online within the next year. I think there's zero chance of it happening.
You know what I want? You know, I've been eyeballing for months. Have you guys seen that Ambernick dual screen? That thing looks fucking amazing. I would love to have that. Honestly, like if I had that, I would go on a spree. DS is an incredible fucking, I mean, obviously it's an incredible system. We put it on our top 10 consoles when we did that show. There's so many games I haven't played on there. Like I would go nuts on that thing if I had it. I can't buy that Ambernick. I'll lose. You guys will lose.
You should
me
get
for
one
months.
of those.
I should. They're not that expensive. I think they're only like $100.
You really? I was just watching a video, but I'm sure this might change at some point. But you really have to go down the path of like putting custom firmware on those to really get like the performance out of it that you want.
Of course, but I would have to. I mean, I'm sure that's not too hard to.
I got tempted, but I'm like, I just bought a Legion and I got a thing Kevin sent me. I don't need more fucking handhelds right now.
By the way, it's funny. I mentioned, I think during one of our breaks here, I mentioned Adventure Island because I have been playing Adventure Island 2 on that little Miu thing. I think you're right. I think I understand what you mean. Like, it is fun to have that thing literally in your pocket and play Adventure Island for a few minutes and turn it off. It's perfect.
It's just because it has so much shit. It's handy just if you get something, if you get a wild hair up your ass and it's within arm's reach.
I had a wild hair up my ass for Adventure Island 2 and riding some dinosaurs around. So yeah, that immediately hatch out of eggs. How does that work? Don't ask questions. Master Higgins knows everything. But yeah, I mean, as for a Sega CD, obviously that's something I desire, but honestly, I think they could just like Genesis Mini 2 that shit and just shove that in the existing Genesis app and no one will even know the difference unless you're a dork. So like, I don't see why they can't just start doing that.
To me, it's the same difference. So come on, let's go. Sewer Shark, come on.
Super Shark is fun. I defend that game. I actually really like it. That's kind of what they did. If you remember on Virtual Console back in the day, they sold a lot of TurboGrafx CD games as TurboGrafx 16, but they were more expensive because they were CD games.
Yep.
And we know they were CD games. It's just that like they didn't want to differentiate because who the fuck cares except us? We know what's going on. So it would be the same thing with Sega CD. If they just put up Popful Mail or something on Nintendo Classics and they just called it and it's on the Genesis app, who gives a shit? Right? It's like I said, Genesis Mini 2, there's Sega CD games on there. It's still called the Genesis Mini 2. It's not called the Sega CDX or something like that, right? And it's still shaped like a Genesis Everyone knows what's going on. You could play Shining Force CD on the quote unquote Genesis, right? As far as that thing is concerned. So yeah, I think Sega CD is actually the least likely here. The Sega stuff has been weird, Steve.
It has.
It's been very weird.
Yeah, and we're saying this, and you know what's going to happen? Like tomorrow night. Hey, 3 random Genesis games you haven't heard of.
Biohazard Battle and Arrow Flash.
Can't wait to see you guys in 2027.
But yeah, I'm sort of in between. I sort of lean a little more towards Kevin with DS. I'm definitely on Steve's side when it comes to Wii. So I think I'm just Switzerlanding here. I'm splitting the difference. I'm not taking a side.
Coward. Steve and I will just continue to resent each other for weeks now.
Sounds about right.
Harumph, harumph.
All right, guys, I have a quick question before we get out of here. And I think we'll be, I say quick question because I think we're going to be pretty definitive about this, because this is something people are generally very definitive about. I'll ask Kevin first. Kevin, what is your favorite season?
Spring, I think.
Okay. Steve.
Winter, when it's not snowing anyway.
You'll take winter even with the snow. Okay. See, my favorite season is also spring.
I'm allergic to everything, or I'd like spring too.
Me too. I've been sneezing my ass off. Oh, I was outside before I got in just a couple hours, like very shortly before we started the show, and I was sneezing my ass off before I.
It hurts. It hurts to go outside.
It's tough. No, spring is my favorite too. But okay, Kevin, could you rank them? Could you rank the 4 seasons? Because I have also a very definitive order.
Spring, summer, fall, winter. I think what I like about spring so much is just because like winter is finally fucking over. We still like spring is not here yet. We have there's still a good chunk of snow outside. But I think because it's like winter is now so far away. Summer is like, I almost want to say summer is my favorite, but spring takes it above summer just because it's like summer is right in front of us as well. And then fall is pretty good too, because I like eating stuff in fall. Yeah. And winter is a distant thought. We finally got shitty ass winter over and done with.
We are perfectly aligned on this. That is exactly my order too.
Summer is miserable here because I live on an island, and even though it's not a tropical island, but okay, Long Island is still surrounded by water, and that means it is never a dry heat. It is always 90% more humidity every fucking summer. And you feel that shit every fucking day from May till the middle of October.
I don't even, maybe it's just such a drier climate here. Like, what is it about the humidity is like that bad that you like winter better than summer?
I can breathe the air. I'm not sweating all fucking day. Okay. Everything starts to melt in the humidity in a certain way. Like we oh man, that reminds me. I got to break. I got to be careful of where a certain case of deodorant is, because if it's out during the humidity, that's going to melt.
I can't believe we're aligned on this, Kevin. I thought I would align with nobody. I was thinking about this last night when I wanted to ask you guys. I'm like, it's funny that mine are in order. Spring, summer, fall, winter, but I guess you are. I'm glad we're the same season on this. I feel very connected right now.
Why did you assume that I wouldn't be there?
I don't know. I guess I just thought maybe you'd like fall the best, and then like maybe summer, or just some other wackadoo order. I don't know. So Steve, rank yours. Okay, winter at the top.
Winter, fall, spring, summer.
Okay, interesting.
That is like the exact wrong order, Steve. It's factually incorrect. That's a shit order.
If you lived here, you'd get it.
Maybe when I lived in San Diego, I might say summer over spring. Maybe. Like it would be very close. I would say summer, spring, fall, winter, but definitely living here, I'd say spring, number one. But yeah, okay. I'm glad we could bond over that, Kevin, and Steve could. I don't know. Maybe he misheard me. Maybe he thought I said from worst to best. Maybe that's why he like did the wrong order.
The humidity changes everything. And in 2 weeks, I'm going to be overwhelmed with lilies at my job, and they are going to kill me, no matter how much Claritin I inhale.
And that is about the time we are about to be sending each other the sneeze emoji.
I still mask like it's lockdown, and that still doesn't help.
Yeah, sometimes, dude, I'll do that when the trees are going bonkers at the park or something. I know I have to walk past there, especially when I lived over that direction where I had to walk past there like every day to go to work. Yeah, during the Rona time, I was like, oh shit, I'm just putting this on every spring because woo. Sometimes I'd walk past this shit, I get to work, and I just sneeze for 4 fucking hours before I could do anything. So it's just, at least that's what it felt like. So yeah, that does help. Bust out that N95 to protect yourself from the Rona and pollen. Okay, I think that's about it. We yapped enough. We like the video games. We talked about the video games. Thanks for joining us. Check the description of this podcast to find our names on social media, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
We'll catch you next time. This has been